Everyone, today we have to solve the question and answer of force and pressure. So first is fill in the blanks. The force For a force to come into play, the two concerned bodies must interact with each other. To draw water from a well, we have to pull the rope. Question number 3. An unbalanced force acting on a moving object may change its speed and or its direction. Fourth, in the game of cricket, the bails fall when the ball strikes them. This is an example of a contact force. Fifth, the force responsible for raising our body hair when we try to take off a synthetic terylene or polyester shirt in dry weather condition is an electrostatic force. Sixth, the atmospheric pressure decreases as we move towards higher altitude. This is true and false. The effect of a force may change by changing the direction of the applied force. True. A force has to be specified both in terms of its magnitude as well as its direction. That is true statement. Frictional force is an example of a non-contact force. This is false statement. A gas-filled balloon moves up. The upward force acting on it is smaller than the force of gravity. That is downwards acting force. This is false statement. Question number 5. We can reduce the pressure of a given force by increasing the area over which the force acts. This is true statement. Inside a bottle filled with water, pressure is at least the bottom and the greatest at the surface of water. This is false statement. Now take the correct option. When a force applied on an object are equal and opposite, then these forces do not move the object but may cause a change in its shape. The following are the names of some of the well-known forces: gravitational force, muscular force, magnetic force, frictional force. Now, out of these, the contact forces are force leveled as B, that is muscular force, and D, frictional force. Rohini pushing a ball towards the west direction with a force magnitude F to help her move the box faster in the same direction her friend should. This is option 3. Push the box in west direction with a force of any magnitude. Now, number 4. A container is filled with water as shown in the figure below this. Now, which of the following statements is correct about the pressure of water in this container? She has more pressure than B and B has more pressure than A, right? So C, B and A. This is the correct option. Now, an empty bottle, an empty metal bottle has to be placed on a table so that it exerts maximum pressure on the surface of the table. So this will be the position where the contact surface is less. So for the bottle, we need to place in position as position B. When we press the bulb of a dropper with its nozzle kept under water, air in the dropper is seen to escape in the form of bubbles. If we then release the pressure on the bulb, water gets filled with dropper. The rise of water in the dropper is due to the atmospheric pressure. 7. The length, breadth and height of a given rectangular box are 100 cm, 50 cm and 20 cm respectively. The box is kept on the ground in 3 different ways. 1 by 1. Which of the following statement is correct statement about the pressure exerted by this box on the ground? So the pressure exerted is maximum when the breadth and height sides form the base. So in the following situation, identify the agent exerting the force. Also state the effect of force in each case. So these are the different cases. In this A, agent of force exertion is finger and effect is change in the shape, this one. And B, a person diving into swimming pool, agent of force is person's muscles and effect is change in motion. C, a labor moving a loaded cart, agent of force is labor and effect is change in motion of cart. And the D, this is D. Agent of force is friction from road and effect is change in motion. And this is E. Agent of force is muscles and effect is change in motion. Second, an object experiences a net non-zero force. Is it possible for the object to move with a constant speed along a straight line? Answer, when a net non-zero, that is unbalanced force will act on the object, then the speed of that object is changed, either magnitude or direction. Therefore, it's not possible for the object to move with a constant speed. Now this is distinguished between, so this is difference between balanced force and unbalanced force. And whenever there is difference, distinguished type of question, it is suggested that to write in a columnar form. So when a resultant force of two or more forces acting on a body is zero, then these forces are called balanced force. Whereas when resultant of two or more forces acting on a body is non-zero, then these forces are called unbalanced force. Balanced forces do not change the state or of rest or motion of an object. They may change in the size and shape of the object. Unbalanced force may change in the state of rest or motion as well as in size and shape of an object. Now this is contact force and non-contact force. The force which act only when the objects are in direct physical contact with each other, and non-contact forces are which act when objects are not in direct physical contact with each other. So example in this case is contact force, frictional force, muscular force, whereas non-contact force examples are gravitational force, electric force and magnetic force. So when we throw a ball upwards, what happens to its speed while it is going on? Give reason for your answer. When we throw a ball upward, the gravitational force and air resistance acts upon it, resulting in decrease of speed while it is going up. So now this figure shows a man with a parachute. Name the force which is responsible for his downward motion. Is it a contact force or a non-contact force? Will the man come down with the same speed without the parachute? Explain. Now see, gravitational force is responsible for his downward movement, which is non-contact force. B, no, the fall of the man without parachute will be much higher as parachute experiences a very large air resistance, that is frictional force, which decreases the speed of the downward motion. Now question number 6, how would the pressure exerted by a force on an area change if the area is doubled keeping the thrust constant? Thrust is doubled keeping the area constant. If the area is doubled, then the pressure reduced to half. When the area is contact increases, pressure decreases. It should be increases, pressure decreases. Should be pressure decreases, right? So here if the thrust is double, when the pressure becomes double. When the area of contact decreases, pressure increases. Question number 7, when will a diver experience a greater pressure, 100 centimeter below the surface of the water or 200 centimeter below the surface of water? Justify your answer. The diver experiences greater pressure at 200 centimeter below the surface of water, as pressure and height are directly proportional. The increase in depth increases the pressure, so the diver experiences more pressure with increase in depth. Now E part, answer the following question. Define force. Is it necessary for the two bodies to be in direct contact for a force to exist between them? Explain with example. Force is a push or pull which an object experiences when it interacts with another object. Forces influence objects that are at rest or that are already in motion. So no, answer of this, no, it is not necessary for the two bodies to be in direct contact for a force to exist between them. For example, an apple falling down from a tree, a magnet can pull iron nails even from the distance. Question number 2, state the 3 effects of force. Give suitable example. 3 effects of forces are as follows. Force can change the state of motion. When one strikes a carom, coins comes into motion. Force can change the direction of the motion. When one strikes a carom, coins changes its direction too. So force can change shape, change the shape of change of shape can be seen in dough when it is pressed. You can see its shape is changed. Now give reason for the following state. These are the question which reason has to be given. So let's discuss the reason. So snowshoes are more effective than ordinary shoes for walking. Shoes for walking on snow. As we know, when the area of contact increases, pressure decreases. Snowshoes are comparatively broader than the ordinary shoes, which makes body weight distributed over a larger surface area of snowshoes and helps to walk on snow without sinking foot. Therefore, snowshoes are more effective than ordinary shoes for walking on the snow. Question number 2. Porter places a large round piece of cloth on their heads when they carry heavy loads. The same reason, as we know that area of contact increases, pressure decreases. Porter places a large round piece of cloth on their heads when they carry heavy loads to increase the surface area, thus reducing the pressure of the load. A sharp knife cuts vegetable and fruits more effectively than a blunt knife. As you know, when the area of contact decreases, pressure increases. The edge area of the sharp knife is less than that of the blunt knife. Therefore, it increases the pressure while cutting vegetables and fruits. So a sharp knife cuts vegetables and fruits more effectively than blunt knife. And D. School bags are provided with the white stripes to carry them. Answer. As we know, when the area of contact increases, pressure decreases. School bags are provided with white straps to increase the contact area, resulting in decreasing the pressure on the shoulder. White strap distribute the weight of the bag over a large area, thereby decreasing pressure on our shoulder. Now it is much easier to burst an inflated balloon with a needle than with the finger. Obviously, again the same reason, as we know, when area of contact decreases, pressure increases. As a needle has a tiny surface area than the finger, force applied by needle at almost a single point results to a much larger pressure on the balloon. So it is easier to burst an inflated balloon with needle than finger. Mountaineers may suffer from nose bleeding at high altitude. The atmospheric pressure is low at high altitude due to the greater pressure difference in blood pressure and the atmospheric pressure. Delicate blood vessel in our nose burst, sometimes resulting in nose bleeding. Airplanes have pressurized cabin for passenger safety while flying high in the atmosphere. We know that at high altitude the atmospheric pressure decreases. The pressure difference can be highly uncomfortable or fatal for travelers. Due to this, pressure in the aircraft cabin is increased to a sufficient level or sufficient value to safeguard the passengers. Now this is two rods A and B of the same weight and equal length have different thickness. These two, the thickness, this is thin and this is thick. The boy, while playing with them on a beach, held them vertically on the surface of the sand as shown in figure. Which one will sink less? Obviously this has a less surface area, so it will sink. We know that pressure varies directly with the thrust and inversely with the area on which the force is applied. For equal amount of force, a smaller area would result greater pressure and the larger area will get less pressure. Hence the rod B will sink less due to a larger contact area than that of rod A, which has less contact area. So you can see it has less contact area and it has more contact area, so it will sink. Now fifth question. 3 holes A, B, C are made in an empty cane at different levels, one over the other as shown in the figure. They are temporarily closed with an adhesive tape. This can is now filled with water. What will observe when the tape on all of them is pulled out? Justify your statement. So when we know that pressure varies directly with the thrust and inversely with the area on which the force is applied. For example, amount of force a smaller area would result greater pressure and larger area will get less pressure. So water will start coming out of these 3 holes. Water from the hole A will go to the maximum distance while pressure is highest at the bottom. Water from the hole C will go to the least distance because of the least pressure. This is filled with water. This is filled with water and the pressure is maximum. So here the maximum pressure, then here and then here. Make 2 tiny holes of the same size at equal height from the bottom in a plastic bottle. Cover them and fill the bottle with water. Let the covers be now removed. State the observation and the resulting conclusion based on this activity. So we know that the pressure varies directly with the thrust and inversely with the area on which the force is applied. For equal amount of force, a smaller area would result greater pressure and large area will less pressure. So it will get less pressure. As we see, the holes are at the same distance, same height, so the water will come out and reach to the same distance because of the same pressure on the pressure on both the walls of the plastic bottles. Now discuss in brief the variation of atmospheric pressure with altitude. Do change in temperature also change in atmospheric pressure? Atmospheric pressure decreases with increase in the altitude, as we know that the density of air becomes heavier near the surface of the earth due to gravity and begin to lighten as we go to higher altitude and eventually leads to empty space. And yes, the change in temperature also causes a change in atmospheric pressure, forming wind current due to uneven heating of earth, that you have studied in standard 7. Now question, this is value based question. On coming back from school, Anudit asked his mother to explain to him the concept related to the addition subtraction of forces acting along the same line. Mother explained to him the reason for adding such forces when they act along the same direction and the subtraction one from the other when they act along mutually opposite direction. She went on to say that in similar manner we get an added up and enhanced effect when we use our strength, hard work and attention all together for achieving our desired goal. So state the value conveyed by Anudit mother. So value displayed by Anudit mother is determination and hard work. Now here, so write down the magnitude and direction of the net force in the following situation. In a tug of war, team A is applying the force of 100 Newton. So here you can see 100 Newton force. This is the direction, west east. So according to the question, 100 Newton force is applied to the east direction and 200 Newton to the west direction. So magnitude of force, net force will be 200 minus 100 Newton. So net force will be 100 Newton and direction will be west. Similarly, question number, a boy pushing in the a box with a force 100 Newton force towards left, overcoming a force of friction that has magnitude of 50 Newton. So here is, so this box is being pulled at this by 100 Newton force and the frictional force is here 50 Newton. So force, net force will be 100 Newton minus 50 Newton. So answer will be 50 Newton. That's all. Hope this helps. Thank you. Thank you.